Well, hello friends. Welcome to our channel. Hi Kenny.
Hi, Praful. Are we playing with bouncing balls today?
Yes, I'm not into animation field. I'm mostly
Uh-huh.
a developer myself, but I'm just trying out a couple of thing and let's discuss
Uh-huh.
today.
Okay, great.
Today I'm planning not to discuss into the animation side of you, but mostly the
Uh-huh.
mathematics behind it, how using the simple mathematical formulas and calculation, we can get this result. So there are plenty of
Okay.
libraries to do the animation and this effect can be achieved very easily, but we can discuss
Hmm.
about the fundamental behind it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm using SVG, Scalable Vector Graphics,
Huh.
and using some very basic coordinate system and some trigonometric sine function, we are getting this effect.
Okay.
So for that, right, we have, there are few basic control.
Hmm.
These are the initialization field. If you change it, so a couple of parameter will get modified, The
Hmm.
firstly, like we can use like the entire window, like we can calculate by DOM inner width or inner height. But I taken a
Hmm.
particular box of it. In that box only this ball is transitioning.
Okay.
So I given the height and width as 500. So you can manipulate on that.
Hmm.
So height, these are the in pixel. So
Hmm.
height and width 500 each.
Okay.
Then I calculate the center point of it. Like we can start this bouncing ball from that point onwards. So I just
Hmm.
make that width half and height half.
Hmm.
This I made a little bit dynamic so that if you change like height width to different values, so the
Hmm.
CX and CY will be automatically calculated.
Okay.
And if you see this center point is not going just beyond this point. Otherwise, if you give this this particular offset will just little bit less than 0.4. So it will go up to some level of point. It won't go beyond that point. Just to control, there is a margin or heading I can giving it top and bottom. This offset is controlling that.
Hmm. So the center of the circle is what you're saying is being affected by the offset.
Yeah. So that it won't go beyond this control. Otherwise, it will go if you just change it to 0, you can see it will go
Hmm.
above it.
Okay. So you decided on 0.4 based on the circle's radius also. If it was a larger circle, you would need a smaller.
Yeah, I just give it randomly, so you can control, manipulate it like 0.3, whatever is working for you.
Okay.
But a little bit less than that entire height, or yeah.
Hmm. Got it.
And this is a multiplication factor, so it will give like how speed or how slow you want that ball to oscillate.
Hmm. Got it.
And in angle, it is 0. But actually, there is one interesting thing I learned.
Hmm.
We are mostly familiar with the angle as a degree, right?
Degree. Yeah.
But most of the function in JavaScript, they treat this angle as a radian.
Okay. Okay.
So there are certain formula to convert it to degrees. We can discuss sometime later. But mostly angle is a radian.
Is there any reasoning for that? Is it like a meter, like a metric system kind of a thing?
Yeah, actually it is a calculating. If you treat this as a circle, so from this one arc is known as 1 radian, that angle.
Okay, okay. So it's measured
Like
in the distance kind of a thing.
yeah. So this is like around 53.77 degree or something like that. So it is one
Okay.
piece of pi. So it is usually
Hmm, hmm,
make mathematics calculation easily.
hmm.
So that's why it
Okay.
is used as a angle as radian. So 1 radian is just one pi, like big circle, one slice.
Okay, okay. Is it like a decimal value or is it always an integer value?
No, it can be decimal value as well.
Okay, okay.
So decimal
Yeah.
value, but I think 02, I am not sure about which number. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Maybe we can play around with it and we can figure it out.
yes, yes. So this is the logic. As you are suggesting, like we can use like key interval or some kind of animation library, but I'm using a simple set interval. In 5 milliseconds, it will just execute this code again and again. So we can give this direction, we can control. Vertical, we need this animation like this vertically. Or if you give horizontally, if you change parameter somewhere like horizontally, then it will oscillate horizontally. We'll see in the example. This X and Y, right? This circle point, we just start with that,
Midpoint.
midpoint.
Huh.
Let's assume it is vertical. We'll start the angle as a 0, like we see in the initialize we angle as a 0, right? Then math.sin would be, 0 of sin A is equal to 0.
Okay.
So it will start with cy. So cx, x equal to anyway cx, and y would be cy. So it will start with, center point or midpoint.
Center point, yeah.
Yeah. And why the need of using the sign, right? Whichever the angle you given, angle we are incrementing here, angle 0 to we are adding the speed. It is going on and on. But this angle calculation, right, is always like it will come -1 to 1, whichever the value you give. You give
Same
0.
Same as the sine wave that we've seen, like it goes up and down, and the same concept, right?
Yeah, same concept. So it would be always -1 to 1. So it can keep on incrementing this speed value or angle. This speed is an increment, like 0.01, it will increment slowly, that oscillation, it will happen in that fashion. But if even though it run for like, let's say 24 hours, then this angle may be gone to 1000, 2000 value. But this sine function will always return a value between -1 to 1.
Got it, yeah.
So if it is -1, right, then center point -1, if you calculate, then it would be going up, the y value will be degrade. If it is +1,
offset.
yeah, it will +1, it will go down. If it is sine function written -1, it will go up. If sine function written +1, it will go down from midpoint. That's why this math sign dot being used.
Got it.
And multiplied by offset.
That is the 0.4 that you were saying earlier, right?
Yeah, just offset to give some margin. Otherwise, from center point, it won't leave any gap in the top or bottom. It will go beyond that.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, based on the sine value, you can have either a minus of the full offset or 0. I mean, ranging from -1 of the full offset to 1 times the full offset.
Yes. So if it is 0, it will become 0. Or if it is become -1, it will just, that offset will be minus from cy, it will remove that one. If you don't give that 0.5, if you give the cy minus cy, it will happen 0.
Got
We
it.
just give little bit so that it will go up to till that point.
Got it.
And this is that circle. So SPG I given height and width. And Cx, whatever the point is, calculating each stage, right? I'm just adding this point as the center point of the circle, 0.1, and radius is 50 by default I given, and some kind of color.
Okay.
And the speed, like if you give more number, right? This angle, this sine value will be calculating, give bigger number. You got it, -1 to 1. But if you increment very slowly, so it will offset will decrease slowly.
Yeah.
But if you give a bigger number, then this oscillation will happen in big steps.
Yeah. Got it.
So if you increase, it will be go very faster. Otherwise, it goes slower. Before I show to the base code, let me show here one more thing. I think because of that transition is a bit slow.
Maybe you can try a larger value than 5, maybe like 20 or 30.
Yeah, rendering because of CPU processing is a bit slowing down.
Mm.
But anyway, see this vertical, right? Cx is constant. Like from this point to this point, x is constant. Y is keep on changing.
Yeah.
And the Cx is the center point of the circle. And
Yeah.
Cy is keep on changing, right? And radius is 50 always constant. So here the same direction I've given vertical just a constant. This is I won't discuss the initialization values.
Same thing. Yeah.
If you give like 5, as I said, if you increase this number, it will be very fast. Yeah, because of the rendering, it becomes sometimes stuck, but it is a bit faster.
Yeah.
So I'm using use effect just to run once. It is a React concept, but without that also you can use in plain vanilla DOM as well.
Yeah.
So set point and thing. And one interesting thing to note here that if you try to change right, we can play around with these values. So we can get a different effect.
Oh, nice. That feels like it is becoming bigger.
Yeah.
And like coming from the distance.
If you see that the circle is touching and something is cutting here. So that if you control this offset, right, then we can give a little bit more margin. So now it is not cutting. It is not rendering.
Yeah.
You got it. There is the COSC, that offset is controlled. And here in this right hand side, if you see that CY and radius both are changing. And here instead of vertical, if you give horizontal, any value you can give. Yeah, horizontal direction movement. If you see the CY coordinates are constant and CX is only changing.
This is interesting in terms of how you're using that sine function, right? Because by default, I might even think, okay, we will try manually to create a variable I or something. And then we will try to put the value like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up to 50 maybe. And then once it becomes 50, we might say, okay, counter, we have to start decrementing. And then we will start to decrement and then go to minus 50. So I think this sine function that you're using, it makes things much more easier and simpler.
Yeah, so sine function, this is one of the uses of sine function. Maybe in animation, that's why it is used very heavily by the good programmer. Hey, Kenny, after that basic mathematical knowledge, let us move to the bouncing ball common example of animation. Can you explain, because you are also interested into animation side, can you talk about how we can improve that our logic by applying some animation technique?
Yeah. So typically what you would see in a like a normal animation would be like a linear motion. So for example, I have Krita here and I can show you how it might go. So you might have a ball which goes like this for each frame. Okay, and mostly it will be, you will feel like it is like a robotic thing, like it's like moving like this, like this, like this, or that kind of a linear motion is giving kind of a robotic motion. And typically in the real world, what we see is more of not real motion, but if you want to start moving, you first have to accelerate, and then once you get to the speed, and then when you're slowing down, you have to slowly decelerate, like even when you're riding a car or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So in a similar way, when we are doing this animation concept, I'm also starting to learn it only. So you have to follow this kind of making sure the distance is maintained between each of the frame. So I can just play this for you, and you can, I'll just remove that reference part. So when we play it, so you can see that this ball is somewhat feeling realistic in terms of gravity, right? In terms of it is coming down slowly and then picking speed, and then it is starting to go back up, and once it reaches the top, it is slowing down, right? So you're able to see that effect. And so how that works, I can show you each of the frames that are involved. So in this bottom section, you can see the timeline, and there are I think 24 by 2, like close to 12 frames that are drawn here. So first frame looks like this when you can see the ball almost at the top. Okay, and if you're looking at the next frame, you can see the ball is moved but only little bit. Okay, third frame, again it has moved only little bit. Then next frame, it has moved a little more, and coming to the next few frames, you can see that then the ball is moving a lot, right? Between these two frames, there is a lot of distance covered. So coming back again, coming back up again, the same concept. I've just copied the previous frames, and once you're coming to the top, there are very nearby distances. So based on this is how this animation works, where if you draw it like this, where you are giving that kind of a, how do I say, I can show that reference. So the distance is going very small initially, and then becoming double and double and double, and then again double. So in this way, if you are doing the drawing, it will feel like that circle is going in a more natural way, right? And not feeling very artificial, right? And maybe I can try drawing that other way also. We can just try.
Yeah, you can
So
try.
suppose we have it here, and then if I like try to do it in a continuous way once. So then I'm leaving equal space between. I think this example is not. 1 second, I'll just undo it. And okay, starting is here, then ending is here. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames in between. So something like this. So then I'm also just getting used to this animation software and how to do this.
Yeah, this Sketch is a very good
that.
software.
Yeah. The thing is, because I drew on an animation layer, it is just going back after that. If I drew on a reference layer, then it would have come correctly. But yeah, it's okay. We'll just figure it out. Okay, so now we have that. I'm assuming that I drew it correctly. Okay, let's see. If you're playing it, you can feel that this. Okay, I'll just remove this one. Aish. Assume this is the ball. Okay. So you can feel that the first ball is just going monotonously up and down, but the second ball has a little bit more of an effect to it. Right.
Yeah, second ball will feel a little bit bouncing.
It feels, it has that springiness, or you have that actual bouncing feeling. The first one is like it is going, coming, going, coming. So that kind of a difference is what I was telling you earlier, that if we can incorporate that, then the animation feels much more realistic. And but I'm thinking, now I'm thinking, when you are saying that it's a sine wave, right? So
Mhm.
if you have a sine wave, it will be like this, right? So in this
Yes.
case, I think it is also, coming, and then it is becoming slowly slowing down right here. Otherwise, the other option is like going like this, right?
No, that
So
sine
then,
wave is just to calculate that offset. It is not
exactly. So
going into the direction. It is just calculating
yeah,
that
the
delta,
amplitude is what is coming, right? This amplitude.
this number. Yeah.
Yeah, that number is getting connected. So what I'm saying is, when you're generating in the sine wave also, somewhat it is kind of, when you're close to the top, it is becoming very less number, right? And at the
Hmm.
bottom, it will be a larger number. Something
Hmm.
similar to that is, I think, happening here, but not exactly. But yeah, that is that is the summary of what is happening here.
Yeah, this would be a bit
Hope it is
interesting to
interesting.
deep dive into the mathematical side of it and the animation side of it. I am
Yeah,
also learning. Let us share whatever we are learning together.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a good day ahead. Bye bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye bye.